Hi, welcome
Mhm.
everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. If
Mhm.
you are joining us from wherever you're joining us from around the world, please drop it in the comments so we can see where you're coming from. Just a quick intro. I'm Joy. I'm the community manager at Hello Moxie. I get to be
Mhm.
inside this amazing program every day, and I can tell you firsthand how impactful what we're about to talk about is. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the Hello Moxie mentorship program in a Q&A live format. So if you have any questions as we go, just drop them in the comments and we'll get to them.
Mhm.
And joining me is the woman who started it all, the founder
Mhm.
of Hello Moxie, Nicole Donnelly. Nicole
Hello.
built Hello Moxie. Hi, Nicole.
Hi,
I was gonna give a
Joy.
little background. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yay.
Nicole built Hello Moxie because she lived the experience. She was a woman trying to navigate the tech industry, and she decided to create a framework and a network of other women to help support and navigate those complexities. So, Nicole, welcome, and I'm really glad to be here with you and having this conversation.
Yay, Joy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here with you, our amazing community manager who does such an exceptional job inside the community. It's amazing. I'm so happy we get to talk about this. So cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get into it. I have a lot of questions, and I know the people watching do too, so let's just jump into it. All right,
Mhm.
you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it. Oh my gosh. I've got my rise mushroom matcha tea ready here. So
Yes.
I
Oh,
can't
awesome.
wait.
I have my
What's
greens, my green
you got your
tea.
green? What's in yours today?
Yeah.
What kind is it? You got your green tea? Does it have any flavor? Or is it
It's like
just
a
straight
green superfood mixture. Not the best, but it gives
amazing?
me energy.
Oh, superfoods are yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. I've been like way into green tea lately. It's like my favorite. So
Ooh, yeah, I do too. I love green tea.
anyway.
All right. Well,
All
let's
right.
start at the beginning.
Mhm.
When you picture the woman who belongs in this program, who is she? I love for you to speak on what it's really like being a woman in these spaces and how Hello Moxie is supposed to support that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the woman who's a great fit for this program is a woman who is 5 to 15 years into her career. She's working in tech or in a male-dominated space, and she's frequently finding herself feeling alone, like she's the only one in the
Mhm,
room, and struggling with finding her voice, struggling with knowing when to speak up and when to sit back, feeling like
mhm,
she's walking a tightrope a lot of the time. I
mhm.
experience that a lot where you're expected to speak up and use your voice, but if you use it too strongly or too stridently, then you can be penalized for it. So it's like
Yeah.
there's this tightrope that you're walking all the time, and it's like can't fall off the tightrope, and it
Mhm,
can feel very isolating. And I felt that a lot when I was running my marketing agency
mhm.
in a lot of male dominated spaces, just trying to feel like my voice was heard. So that's the ideal woman for this program is really wants more for her career
Yeah.
and for her life. She wants something that's going to be transformative for her, and she's looking for connection, and she wants to be in the room with other women like her who get it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing. One of the things that I really admire is how intentional you were with building out the structure of Hello Moxie.
Mm.
And one of the most important parts about the mentorship is the Moxie method. It's the
Mhm.
foundation of what the program is built on. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the Moxie method is?
Yes. So this is a framework that came together from my own lived experience navigating this world as being a woman in a male dominated space. And it's evidence based and it's a journey framework. So it's a 5 stage framework from that starts and it follows the path of an olive tree. So there's 5 stages
Mm,
to this journey. It's a pathway to leading with Moxie and becoming a leader who multiplies and lifts others and creates this legacy of giving back and really
mm,
living fully embodied and living in your truest, highest potential and being able to realize that. So it starts off, there's 5 stages: seed, spark, sprout, speak, and shine. And so
mm,
through this cohort, women get to kind of go through this transformation through each of these phases, and each phase builds on the last. So the first stage is the seed. And so this is really about developing and cultivating self-trust. I think as
Mhm,
women, this is something that we are conditioned and programmed throughout our childhood, throughout our lives to doubt ourselves. And it shows up very covertly in a lot of ways. And so this first phase is all about learning to trust your own intuition and get in touch with that inner wisdom that we as women all have, and really starting to find confidence in knowing what your body is telling you, because it is truly the source of so much wisdom.
mhm,
So that's the first stage, and it's about getting curious about what your body is telling you, listening to your sensations, you know. So much of the time we stay in our heads up here and we're
mhm,
analyzing and overthinking everything. And it's amazing what can happen when we just drop and let ourselves be in our bodies, and
mhm,
what answers can come to us. So that's the first stage. And then naturally, organically, what happens is you start to develop this self-trust, you start to become curious. You start to lean into the things that you're curious about and what lights you up. And so that leads into the next stage, spark, which is all about following your curiosity and the things that are lighting you up and
mhm,
leaning into your strengths. And as you start to naturally lean into your strengths and understand them, you gain confidence because you're doing things that you're naturally good at that really, that are enjoyable to you. And
yeah.
so oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing, I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, so then as that happens, as you start to get more curious and confident, your confidence increases, and then organically what happens is you move into sprout, which is when you start to take bold action. You start to see fear as something to lean into,
Mhm,
and get curious about. Fear is a signal. Sometimes fear is an important signal we need to pay attention to. And we really need to say, okay, is this something that I truly need to back away from and step away from? Or is this just something that's something that's discomfort that I can lean into? And so
mhm,
it's really getting curious about the fear and stepping into fear with courage and understanding that discomfort is just part of growth. So that's the third stage, sprout. And then the fourth stage is speak, which is all about organically as you start to step into making these big, bold moves and leading courageously, you start using your voice more in alignment with what your strengths are.
yeah,
So if you are a woman, for example, who loves engineering, you love, architecting software solutions, for example, and as you lean into that strength, you start to take bolder action. You start to take on bigger projects in that area. You start building more impactful things. And then naturally, as you do that, you're using your voice more, and people are
mhm,
starting to see that more, and you're able to step up with confidence and not shrink. And so then
mhm,
what happens as you start to use your voice more is naturally then people start to follow you, and you move into the last stage, which is what we call shine, which is all about legacy and giving back, and how can you be a light to other people who are coming up behind you. And so we go through each of these phases through the cohort. The whole cohort is founded on this, and it's proprietary. There's no other mentorship program that has this unique framework that we've built the mentorship and the workshops every month around. So, yeah, that's the Moxie method. I don't even
I
know
love
about you,
it.
but I love olive trees. Aren't they the best? They're so
I do
beautiful
too.
and resilient. So,
I do too. And a little background, I was able to go through the cohort, so I've been on the other side of the journey, and one of the things that I appreciated a lot about how the Moxie method, like, formats itself is it always comes back to you,
Mm,
and you said the word curious a lot, and I feel like I'm so much more curious and I ask so many more questions about my needs, what's my
mm,
purpose, how do I show up in the world, and I love that about the Moxie method, that it always comes back to curiosity in ourself. And yeah,
yeah.
I feel like most if you go through it, you're gonna be asking yourself some hard questions, some uncomfortable questions, but at the end of that journey, like, you're so much self-assured. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, for sure, and I've seen that in you, Joy. Like, it's been really amazing for me to be able to see you leaning into your curiosity and also stepping into, like, uncomfortable conversations and really speaking up and saying what it is
Mhm.
that you need to say. And so it's been really nice for me to be able to see that growth in you and see you leaning into it in a really beautiful way. And yeah, so
Thank
self-reflection is such a really important part of the program, right? Like,
Mhm.
you have, like, lot of guided reflection through the workbooks that we do in
Yes,
addition to the mentorship and everything. But yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. All right. So if someone's interested in this program, walk us
Mhm.
through what they're actually signing up for. What does it look like day to
Mm.
day or week to week?
Yeah, so this is intended to be a very immersive experience. And you're like part of a very intimate community. So,
Mhm,
what this looks like is you'll have one-to-one mentorship sessions with a senior woman in tech who's paired up with you. We intentionally do the matching based on your job function, your years of experience, and the challenges that you're uniquely facing that you need help with. And we find a mentor who has experience with all of those, who's at least 1 to 2 steps ahead of you in her career in the same job function. And we
mhm,
do that with intention, and so you're matched with someone so you don't have to make the ask. You know, a lot of times I think, aren't we afraid to, like, reach out to the person and ask for them to
mhm.
help us? And so we really try to remove that barrier. And then the other part of it is that you're part of a of intimate community, a peer group. So we have a circle community on the back end where you can communicate regularly with the other members of the cohort. And you also get a courage companion throughout the program, who's someone who can help you stay accountable, that you can role play with, that you can help you stay on track with what your goals are, in addition to your mentor and
Mhm.
your peer group. And you get the amazing Joy, who's like this amazing community manager who is so good at like building connection and relationship and belonging and inclusion. And so we want this to be a safe place for the women who join our cohort to land. Like, you show up as you are, there's no pressure. We're just here to learn
Yes.
and model vulnerability and support for each other. And, because the work that you're doing through this cohort, it's uncomfortable sometimes. And so, in order for us to really support that growth, we want to show up for each other and make it a safe place. So, yeah, I think women can expect, some discomfort, but at the end of it, a lot of transformation and a lot of like really amazing growth we've seen from the mentees who've come through. I'm like thinking
Yeah.
of Carla, for example, who's
Oh,
in
we love Carla.
yeah, love her, new to tech sales, joined this cohort just starting a new job and was feeling pretty discouraged and isolated. She didn't want to eat with her teammates at lunch. She had a male manager for the first time in her career, and she'd only previously worked for women, so it was like a whole new dynamic. Everyone was younger than her, and she was really struggling. And through the program, her mentor really like challenged her to and gave her some tough feedback, and it really helped her reflect and make some really big changes. And now she's just like so
Yeah.
happy with where she's at and thriving. She's hitting her sales numbers. She's having lunch with her
Mhm.
team now, and she's speaking up and asking for help. Through the program, one of the things we do is everyone takes the Gallup Strengths Finder assessment, where you learn what your top 5 strengths are. And she learned that her one of her top strengths was learner. And so through that process, she really has leaned into that. How can she learn more? How can she ask for help? How can she start to leverage that strength? So it's been really
Mhm.
rewarding to see that change happen in her. And then Katrin in the program, she ended up getting a new job because of the support
Yeah.
she had from her mentor, who helped her realize that she was ready for something more.
Mhm.
That was really beautiful to see. We had several other women who also took on new jobs, and we've had women who've walked away from jobs and started their own business. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to see the changes. Like, everyone who came through that cohort made big moves as
Yeah.
a result of it. So, yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think it was really interesting, with the last cohort. It felt like a lot of the women were in different places. So some were transitioning, some were starting a new job, but we were all connected by our experiences in this industry. So even if someone was in a different place, we could always like look back at a time that we had a certain experience. Or so it was
Yeah.
just good to be connected with other women who got it. Even if we weren't in the same exact space in our career points, we still were connected on a deeper level. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and it was really lovely to see how everyone showed up for each other, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, everyone in the cohort was going through some pretty big life changes.
Yeah.
Tough stuff, having
Yeah.
come off of job loss, starting new jobs, leaving jobs, and it was just wonderful to see everyone really show up for each other and to be like a safe place for these women to land when they were going through some of that. We
I
have
agree.
an amazing one of our LinkedIn, members chiming in and saying that organic mentorship is very hard to come by and initiate.
Mm,
Yes. Have you experienced that, Joy? Has that been your experience? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a bit. I think it's that, like you mentioned, the uncomfortability of like asking to formalize it. I think that
Mhm.
there have been dynamic women in my life that I looked up to and I would maybe go and ask questions for, but it's like, how do I ask them? So it's almost like you're like a little kid at the playground, like, how do I ask them to be my friend? Like, I know with this program, it kind of takes that away, the awkwardness away, like of making it a formality and having structure to it, which feels really, really good.
Yeah, it makes it, I mean, it's already, let's be honest, like stepping into mentorship is asking for discomfort because you're looking for someone to help you realize what your
Mhm,
roadblocks might be or what your blockers are and help you kind
mhm.
of like shine a mirror on, yourself and where there's opportunities for you. And so that can be a very vulnerable place to be. And
Mhm.
so being able to like remove some of that barrier to make it accessible, I think really helps, foster some safety and vulnerability.
I agree, and shout out to our mentors. They're all so amazing. Like, I
Mhm.
enjoy like, shout out to my mentor, Latoya, but and also the other mentors that we got to work with. There's a couple events that we have throughout the program where you get to network and mingle with other mentors, so you won't only have the opportunity to get to know your personal one-on-one, but you still get to know all these other dynamic women too, so shout out to them.
Mhm. They are all amazing, and it's really remarkable we how they each have such unique, diverse perspectives and experience,
Mhm,
and it's really fun and rewarding to see the impact collectively that these women
mhm,
have on the community and the women in it. That's one of the beautiful things about this is that, like, not only do you have the one-to-one pairing, but, like, we have these community events where now you get access to more mentors, and we do, these mentorship events where they take field, anonymous questions and to hear
mhm.
them, like, building on each other, and it's just such a rich environment
Yeah,
for learning and for support. Yeah.
yes. All right. So the mentor match, it feels like it's a really big part of the program. How does Hello Moxie approach that? And I know you have some really beautiful examples. We kind of mentioned a little bit before. If you want to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. So the matching, this is fun. So what we do is we have every mentee who joins, they fill out an intake survey and the mentors do too. So we ask them, what's your job function? Anyone in tech is welcome. So you don't have to have a technical background to be part of the program. If you're in marketing, sales, product management,
Mhm,
anything along those lines, you belong and you can be a part of this program. And so we ask them that question, and then we ask them how many years experience they have, and then challenges. Are you struggling with imposter syndrome? Have you hit a career plateau and you don't know how to break through? Are you
mhm,
in transition and trying to find a new role? You want to, are you looking to start out? Maybe you want to go out on your own, or maybe you want to pivot in some way. So we ask those questions and we match you up with a mentor who has exact experience navigating those challenges. Um, and so that's what's really special, and it's intention. So, like, you and I come together and we go through all of these women and we
mhm.
match them together. Like, this is hand done. There's no algorithm. We want this to feel very personal and intimate, and like we're not losing the human touch here. And so, for example,
Yeah.
Carla, we matched her with Carla's backgrounds in sales. We matched her with a woman who had built as an executive leader in sales, who also had lived in South America for much of her career. And Carla's family is from South America. And so we're very intentional about, like, who do we think culturally and personality is going to mesh well with each other. We
Mhm,
have Katrin from Germany that we paired up with a lovely mentor, Antoinette. Both of them are engineers. And so that pairing was really beautiful because Antoinette had direct experience navigating, what Katrin was going through. And there was such a rich magic about that pairing because they
mhm,
were also so different from each other and so in so many ways and unique. So, yeah, I mean, there's just been so many rewarding matches that we've seen through the program, from Heather and Beth to, Kyla,
mhm.
Nicole, and all of them. They're all so
All
anyway, the
right. We can say the whole list.
and Joy and Latoya, like Joy and Latoya, you're a perfect example. Like Latoya, um,
Yeah.
such great experience similar to yours. And
Mhm.
so, yeah. Anyway, so
Great
it's done
pairing.
with intention. Mhm.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to note when once you join the program, you set up a one-on-one meeting with me, your community manager,
Mm,
and even it's a little bit deeper dive into what your needs are. So
mhm.
the intake form is just one part of the snapshot, but then we also are even a little bit more intentional by just talking and chatting and getting to know your needs. And then from my conversations with other mentors, I have a little bit more of an understanding of who can work well with the other person, or this is a desire that this mentee has to match with someone like this. So yeah, we have tons of levels of
Yeah,
intentionality.
that's true, and I can say, like, and I'm sure for anyone watching, you can just see it from the experience with Joy. She is so good about really trying to understand what everyone's needs are and really meeting them where they are and making sure they feel included everywhere. And that's what you can expect when you're working with Joy. She really wants to make this experience just tailor-made for you and really understand exactly what it is that you're looking for. So, yes, love that.
Thank you for that, Nicole. And yes, I agree. That's so important to me for your
Very true.
experience for sure.
Mhm. Ooh,
Thank you.
we've got a comment coming through. Aside from who
Yay.
you're paired with, what other parts of the program are tailored to each mentee? Ooh, great question. I love that
Hmm.
one. So I would say the other part that we tailor to each mentee is we do these live networking mentorship events with the whole community. And so what those are is we want to give everyone a chance to get paired up and get access, one-to-one access with another mentor so that they can build their community and start to build these relationships of influence because the relationships that you build in this community, they go beyond this program. And
Hmm.
I cannot reiterate how important it is to build your network and how those relationships just they are such a massive investment that will pay off in massive ways over time. I've experienced that in my own career. And so we really want to be able to give women that access. So that's the other part of it is that through those programs, we will intentionally pair these women up with another mentor at these networking events where they get a separate one to one mentorship session. And then we have speed mentoring with the other mentors
Hmm.
too. Speed networking, excuse me, where they'll just get to communicate. So we're very intentional about those matching. And then the courage companions, that's another thing that we tailor to each mentee. We assign them a courage companion at the start of the program, which is another peer in the group that they can connect with throughout the program. And we're very intentional about who's going to be a good fit based on similar experience, job function, etc. So
Hmm.
what do you think, Joy? Is there anything else that you feel like is really tailored to them?
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think that those are all really good examples of like the tailoring. But also
Mhm.
as you were talking, I was thinking about how special it is to have the tailoring, but also balance it with the collective agency that we have, how we're all working through the program. We all are working through our workbooks, we're reading the same books, we're going through the same framework. And there's something really beautiful about the group and the community that we're building. So it's you have a balance of both of the one-on-one tailoring through the mentorship and the mix it up events, but you also have this experience of going through this program with a group of women who are right there alongside of you. And there's something really special about that too.
Yeah, you're right. It's a collective kind of growth together. And
Hmm.
every time we have the workshops, so once a month we do workshops together with everyone in the group that are co-facilitated by myself and Joy. And so every time we have the workshops where we cover the Moxie method in those
Hmm.
workshops. Together we have discussions and it's all guided by we have these amazing workbooks. Oh my goodness. So all of the women who come through the cohort this is like your guided reflection time where you can kind of work through
Yeah,
and everyone's on the same pathway. Everyone's working through the same content together.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the practical things. Let's talk a
Mm,
little bit about the cost. Are there any options for people who want to join but need a little bit
mhm.
of flexibility? Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. Yeah. So this program by design, it's intended for women who are ready to invest in themselves, who believe that investment is going to create massive returns for them. And so,
Hmm.
and we've seen that from all the mentees that have joined. That's what they've shared. Like they believe that they're worth it. They believe that they're worth investing in, and that this is something that will help them in their career. And so because of that, because it's so intentional and because it's so, comprehensive and there's so many things that are being offered, there are several options for people to kind of offset that initial cost investment. One of them is we do offer payment plans. So mentees have the option to pay over 6, 9, or 12-month term. So you can have a monthly payment option. And that's if you want to go the self-funded route. But the other option is the employer reimbursement option. And so many women who work in tech companies have access to professional development dollars and may not even realize it. And so we
Mhm.
have a reimbursement guide that we've created that helps mentees really start to understand and make the ask of their employer to say, hey, I'm interested in this mentorship program. Are there resources available that I can tap into? And what's interesting is, I work with a lot of women in HR, and they've shared that a lot of times these professional development dollars, these L&D budgets are underutilized. People aren't using them, but that's exactly what they're for. Companies want to invest in their employees. They're committed to the growth of their employees. And so asking for, access to these dollars that have already been set aside, it can feel like a big ask. It can feel risky sometimes if you're the one asking, right? But it's something that your employer and your company wants you to do. It's not selfish. It's not,
Mhm.
it's actually generative leadership, because by you choosing to step forward and say, "Hey, I want to invest in myself because I want to grow in this organization and continue to develop," you are basically setting an example for any woman who comes behind you, and you're modeling that for them, that you can ask for support to achieve your goals and your growth. And as you grow, then you're modeling for them that growth. So
Mhm.
it's hugely generative, and so that's another option for folks, is really to tap into that, and we're here to support that. So if you want to have the program sponsored by your employer, we'd love to support that. If you need us to send receipts or anything along those lines, we can do that work for you to help you make it easier.
I love that.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you have another LinkedIn Live that's gonna be discussing a little bit about how to ask?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we do. Joy. Awesome. We have another session on that next Tuesday at the same time. I'm gonna be, joined by my colleague, Marta Fernandez, and she and I are gonna be talking all about these options, what options are available to employees, how to make the ask, and making the case to your employer, and how you can tee it up in a way that shows that, this is for the growth of the company, and your own growth helps the company grow. And
Mhm.
managers like to see that. They like to see that
Mhm.
initiative in their employees. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, I'll be
Yeah.
watching that one, watching that LinkedIn Live. Thank you.
Yay. Yeah.
Well, I know we're getting close on time, but I have one more question.
Mhm.
There are a lot of mentorship programs out there. Why does Hello Moxie stand apart? What are you doing
Mhm.
that's different than others? What are you doing that others aren't?
Yeah, such a great question. I think at the core, there's a structure to this program that's very intentional, right? So we're not just, randomly, pairing you up with someone. We are by design structuring this so that it's intentionally matching you with someone's going to be a good fit for you, I would say.
Mhm.
Second thing is the Moxie method is completely proprietary. So you're not going to have access to this leadership educational framework anywhere else. And it's very, very sheesh. I mean, it's very structured. There's specific
Mhm.
challenges every month that you go through, and it provides a supportive framework for you to really achieve your goals. And through the program, people take the Strengths Finder assessment from Gallup. So I would say that the Moxie method really makes it very different.
Mhm.
And the community that it's built on is very different. By design, we're an intimate community. When I
Mhm.
founded this company, I had to make that decision. Do I want this to be a massive community? And do I want to create these, on demand access programs? Or do I want to create something very intimate and personal? And I went the route of wanting to create something that was very intimate and personal. And I
Mhm.
think that that's what is very distinct from this program that separates us from other programs. And the fact that, we're all women who've lived this, and it's, struggling with what it's like to be a woman in tech. So I would say those are
Yes.
the main things that really make it different from other programs. And there's no other program out there that combines this one-to-one mentorship with this peer support and these peer
Mhm.
workshops built on the Moxie method and these networking and community events that you get access. It's just so many rich resources that you really can't find in any other programs that make it very different.
Great. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, Nicole, this has been such a rich conversation, and thank you for pulling the curtain
Mhm.
back on everything Hello Moxie is building. It was really good
Yay.
to help others get an understanding of all the work that's going on behind the scenes. And I think what strikes me most about this program that we're building isn't just about getting ahead at work or creating or building technical skills. Well, those are super important, but this program really you are becoming more fully yourself. And I can say that firsthand, having experienced it. And I just really appreciate the community that is being built. So the women that are participating in are also co-building this with us. And it's just been great to walk alongside all the other women and walk alongside you in this journey as we're building it out.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes. You got me all verklempt, Joy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I second all of that. I think you hit the nail on the head that this program is about so much more than how you show up at work. Everything that we learn through this program bleeds out into the rest of your life, and we want it to be something that
Mhm.
transforms you personally so that how you show up at home is different, how you show up with your friends, how you show up in your community.
Yeah.
It really has this ripple effect everywhere you go, and the community is such a huge part of it. This community is so special. The women in this community are so dedicated and committed to helping women
Mhm.
in tech rise. It's been probably one of the most surprising and beautiful things that I've experienced since we started building this, oh my gosh, 9 months ago. That is how these senior women in tech show up with such commitment to help
Yeah.
women rise. So, yeah. Yeah, I love
Awesome.
it. Yeah, and
Yay.
thank
Well, if
you, Joy, for
anything,
showing up the way that you have. You've made such an impact on the women who've come through our cohort, and anyone who joins is just so lucky to have the support of you to help them on the journey. It's so great. So thank you.
thank you. It's mutual. It's mutual for
Mhm.
sure. Thank you. So, yeah, if we've talked about anything today that resonated with any of you all, we have a wonderful next step. We're hosting a Hello Moxie open house, and this is a chance for you to go a little bit deeper on everything that we talked about today, the program, the structure, the investment, and most importantly, it's an opportunity you'll get to hear directly from a mentor and a mentee pair that were from cohort 1. So, we would love for you to join, and I think Nicole's going to drop
Mhm.
the Zoom registration link into the chat, and we would love to see y'all there. Nicole, do you have any final words for us before
Yeah,
we
great. We'd
log
love to
out?
So great. We'd love to see you at the open house next week, or you can send me a DM on LinkedIn if you have any questions.
Mhm.
I'd love to answer any questions you might have, and can't wait to get to know you and connect with you and see your Moxie. And thanks for joining us today. So, thanks, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you. And make sure to share the open house information with a friend too, if you know anyone else that would be interested. We love to have you join.
Yay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.